Hello and welcome to I Can't Believe This Got Greenlit, a show where we discuss movies from our childhood, our nostalgia from watching them as kids, how they got made, and our experiences rewatching them as adults. I'm one of your hosts, Nick Warner, and joining me as always, Matthew Pelton.
Nick, why are we here? Why are we here so early?
Let's get right into the drama.
We're mad. You're listening to WCB, but we're not happy about it.
We're mad, but we're here. It's season 3.
We are technically here.
We're season 3. Hopefully, if all goes to plan, we're on video.
Yeah, welcome.
Which is pretty cool.
Welcome to the studio.
We're back in studio for season 3. However, it's not 7 p.m.
No,
it's not 9 p.m. It's not 10 p.m. It's 10 a.m.
It's 10 a.m. It's 10 a.m. on a Tuesday.
It is Tuesday also.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's talk. So
should we explain?
Okay. So we're back with WCB for a third season. 1 week late.
WCB started last week.
Right.
We were absent.
Yes. Because we initially put our time slot in as 10 p.m. and the schedule got all mixed up. And we're here at 10 a.m.
10 a.m.
And we took an entire week of emails and phone calls and everything you can imagine to try and secure that time slot. And through lots of trial and error, we're here
at 10 a.m.
At 10 a.m.
We could not
for
change
the rest of the semester.
Our time slot whatsoever. Just for the record, we put 10 to 11 p.m. 10 to 11 p.m. for like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
That was what we
wanted. Those are our options.
Yes. And then we didn't know if we got it. And then schedule came out and they're like, hey, we want you back. And we're like, sweet, we got our season 3. And they're like, but you got 10 a.m. And we're like,
right.
Nope.
We found that out as we were watching Argyle.
That's true. We were sitting in a movie. And then we got 10 a.m. So Nick, God bless his soul, sent an email right after Argyle.
Yeah, it was also at midnight. So it's like, they're not going to answer.
No, we're not going to answer right now. But it was like 2 to 3 hours later. And then
like 4 days go by.
4 days, no response. So then I sent an email and I CC Nick. And I'm like, hey, I don't know if you saw, but, I think you screwed up our time slot.
Right.
Accidentally. And then another 4 days go by. No response.
And at this point, it's like we were like DMing people.
Yeah, like week 1 had started.
On the Greenlit Instagram.
So like we're DMing WCB on Instagram where like nothing works. I DM like basically our boss. He also doesn't respond. So we're like, is there just no Greenlit? Is this the end of season 3? And then finally, I won't say how, but I get our boss's number. So I'm desperate at this point.
Right.
I won't get into it, but I need WCB to graduate this semester. Yeah, so I'm like, hey, we need this to happen.
This is a necessity.
This is a necessity.
We're not messing around.
No, so I get my boss's number, and I'm like, hey, I don't know if you've seen our 87 emails and 42 DMs.
Right.
I think you guys screwed up our time slot.
42 DMs. Right.
And basically, okay, I find this whole thing very fascinating.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, yes, we screwed up your time slot.
However,
we took 7 years to respond to you, so we can't change it anymore. He's like, so you can either do Thursday at noon, which Nick has a class.
Yeah,
so we can't do that. He's like, or you can do WECB 2.
Which really
and that was the end of the message. And we're like, what is WECB 2? And then he proceeded not to respond for another couple days.
So we found out that WCB 2 is basically doing summer sessions like from our own laptop, but
and just live streaming it. There's no studio. There's nothing. It's just Nick's.
Which would have been fine, except that because it was streamed, that it kind of defeats the whole purpose of summer sessions of like how we can edit it. So we were like, all right, let's go back into the studio. It's our last semester. Whatever.
Yeah, we're like, all right, we'll
suck it up for 10 a.m.
Which means we're here at 10 a.m.
So
in pajamas.
Bedhead,
just looking rough.
Yeah, that's why I have a hat on. I'll probably have a hat on.
I own it
for every single episode.
I embrace the 10 a.m. Tuesday.
Yeah, but
we're
mad.
Here,
we're back,
WCB.
And we're here to talk today with our hopefully morning radio voices.
I hope we sound cool.
I hope we sound relatively interesting.
Yeah, I think we sound cooler. That's the one benefit.
Yeah. Today we're going to talk about the 2010 movie Megamind. Now, I believe this was your pick.
Yes.
Because last season, episode 1, I believe it was my pick for Curious George. And then we just had a boatload of guests on.
And then like seasonal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one got to pick in a while.
It was your pick. This is our first like individual pick in a while. Do you want to start with childhood stories because it's your selection?
But before I start with stories, I have a question for you.
Okay.
And I think I'm like 90% sure I know the answer. I just want it on record.
Okay.
We like discovered we
Oh, yeah,
finalized
yeah.
this WCB thing last night at
Yeah.
like 10 p.m.
Right.
So my question for you, Nick, is when did you watch this movie?
I started watching it, I believe, at 11:30 or midnight.
I started watching like at 12:30.
Because I also do the notes for this show, as people
that's
watching this
true.
hopefully on YouTube can see it at my computer. I
You
have all
see
these
the
notes.
lack of prep I do.
And so I was doing production notes, and like by the time I was done with production, I was like, I still have to watch the movie and then pause it every so often and take notes.
Take notes.
It's
Dude,
gonna
I'm
be a
so
nightmare.
sorry.
So I ended up going to bed at, I believe, around 2:30.
Oh, as
And
did
then,
I.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I ended up, my body woke me up this morning at like 8:30. And I looked out the window and I was like, great, there's no snow.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 11 feet of snow today.
Yeah.
Like classes are all online.
Which is great. I'm about to sleep all the way through.
Dude, I have
Oh
no
my
class
God.
today. I'm
I'm
out.
so jealous.
That's
I'm
why I
so
stayed
jealous.
in PJs. This would be
Yeah.
a great day.
I'm going back to bed right after this.
Oh, 100%. So I watched this at like 12:30. I think I started.
Yeah.
Because we had a meeting last night for a project, so I went back after and just did a couple things,
Right.
and then I started this movie.
Yeah. I texted you and I was like, I hope you're enjoying this bleeping movie.
Yeah.
And then you said, I haven't even
I
started
started it.
yet. I'm making dinner. And I was like, dude, it's like 12:30.
Which, by the way, me making dinner what ended up being a bowl of cinnamon toast crunch.
That's so funny.
That was my dinner.
You
and then,
made-
like-
oh, it's so funny that you texted me in the middle of making dinner when
Yeah.
it was a bowl of cereal.
As a bowl of cereal, I was
Taking
pouring
so
it.
long.
I went to go do the spoon. I was like, no, let me respond to Nicholas Warner
We stopped this
first.
process.
So I watched it super late, and then this morning I woke up just in time for the show. As you
Okay.
can probably tell from my voice.
Yeah, I luckily I got up and got breakfast.
I was going to ask you,
So
have you eaten
I went to
anything
the
today?
dining hall. I had a
haven't.
nice breakfast. I was already up, so I was just like, all right,
Might as well.
let me go do it. And all like the pastries were still fresh, so it was
Nice.
nice. Yeah,
There
I
you
didn't
go.
get them as they were like stale.
I can't remember the last time I even went to the
Yeah.
dining hall
So,
at all, let alone for
yeah.
breakfast. But I have not had anything to eat, and then I made a mistake because I was like, oh, I'll bring like a clementine because
Nice.
that's an easy thing to bring.
Yeah.
But I just brushed my teeth. So I can't eat it.
Oh, you gotta wait till the end of the show.
Yeah, I went to the end of the show, but I'm starving.
At that point, you're
And
just
at this
going
point,
home.
I'm mad at WCB. I'm like, I'm going to pour this on your beautiful soundboard. right there.
no.
Just you know what? Last episode of season 3. We'll come with just a bucket of water.
No.
Destroy the studio.
No. We've had too many good memories here.
Yeah.
We can't let the season ruin it for us. Okay, so childhood
Stories, yes.
Megamind. Let's hear
Okay,
it.
so Megamind is a weird one because it's been on the list
For
since
a hot
like season
second.
1.
Yeah,
It's been on
yeah.
the list for a
For
while.
a while.
And my only memory, I know what he looks like,
Mm.
obviously. I remember like the visuals. I remember the characters.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember any of the plot. Besides, like, he was just a bad guy.
Right.
And the only like vivid detail I remember is the fish dude,
Mm-hmm.
the Arrested Development guy,
Right.
where he sings going off the rails on a
Yeah,
crazy
yeah,
train,
yeah.
sir. That's it. For some reason, I thought that whole song in that moment was such a big deal in the movie.
It was like literally
It
a
was
throwaway.
It was a throwaway. And I kept waiting for it to come up again and again. Like,
Yeah.
oh, they're going to do this bit a couple
Right.
times. Like, I know.
Yeah.
Not once.
No.
They do it like once,
Literally.
and then it never gets brought up. There's
Right.
way too many needle drops,
Yeah.
and it's not one of them. So I was like,
Right.
oh, I don't know why childhood Matthew really kept that in his brain.
Was it not a needle drop? Was it? Did they not?
It
play
was.
the-
It was a needle drop, and then
Okay.
like 5 seconds later, he sang the line.
I understand. Okay.
But I don't even remember the song being played. I just remember him singing. it.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, no, he does it more than
Yeah.
once.
No, he does not.
No, he does not at all. So I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, no. For me, this is one of those that like I have like memories of watching this as a child, but nothing like spectacular.
Yeah,
So, like I remember
right? Yeah.
watching it. It was very straightforward. I want to say that there was a McDonald's collaboration that I remember,
Oh,
and like
only one way
there.
to find out.
I just remember getting like the toys from
Okay.
that. So if I'm wrong, then I have horrible memory.
I was gonna say, what
um,
if happens if there's not a collaboration?
Then
Where does
I
you get these?
no
toys?
idea.
These
Found on the
mysterious
street,
Megamind
yeah.
toys.
And yeah, and I remember the characters. The one thing I didn't remember and I was blown away by was the voice cast of this thing.
Oh, it's stacked. And by the way,
Yeah.
there was a Happy Meal collaboration.
Yes, I do remember those. Yeah.
Do you remember which one you had? Because there's a couple. You have like the
Um,
main guy, Megamind.
I think I want to say it was Megamind and then the
Oh, you got the-
minion.
Oh, you got the man
Yeah,
himself.
I
Good
think
for you.
I think those two. Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
have no memory of this at all.
Yeah, I vaguely. Yeah.
Okay, they
But
look,
yes.
they look awful.
So yeah, they're not. They're not.
Just for the
great.
record, you should look these up. They're horrible.
It's crazy. So no like real story surrounding it. I remember watching it, but nothing super interesting.
Which is weird that it's been on the list for so long, but both of us don't have like a specific memory.
Yeah, but I do remember it being like weird and wild in our childhood, and I remember enjoying the story. Like I remember the plot points as they were happening, and I was like, okay, right, I remember this.
Okay.
And again, I think the main thing I didn't remember was the voice cast and just like
I knew it was Will Ferrell. I think I knew that as like a kid. I knew it was Will Ferrell.
Also, going into production, I think the first thing I want to point out, and I realized this about halfway through the movie. Do you realize that this is the second episode 1 of a season where we have the exact same main character and sidekick? Technically.
Wait, what do you mean?
Think about the voice cast for Curious George. Who's the man in the yellow hat?
It's Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell. Who is the snotty kid, the snotty son of the old man?
Oh my God!
It's the same character. It's the same voice cast.
It's the same voice cast.
It's the same dude. I mean, they're not
realize that.
Parallel in their dynamic, but it's like exactly the same.
That's wild.
It's crazy. Both animated movies, both of our, at least in our show's world, season 2 and 3,
beginning of
episode 1, it's
that
those
like,
two voice actors. And I was like, why does it sound familiar? And I was like, oh, it's because we just did this.
If we choose wisely, Will Ferrell can be in our 5 timers club.
He's
on his way. He's on his way. It's 2 out of 5.
So, right. Okay. That would mean we'd have to do 3 more Will Ferrell.
We should do them in a row.
we kind of did that with Patrick Warburton. So he's not there yet.
That's true, which feels ridiculous.
We'll get to that.
There.
We'll get to that. No, not today.
Oh, I was like, does he cameo?
Maybe next week.
Didn't know about it.
Okay, so going into production, this movie was directed by a guy named Tom McGrath. Okay. Now, if that name doesn't ring a bell to you, that's okay. But he's a very, very huge moneymaker in the animation world.
Okay.
He directed the entirety of the Madagascar trilogy.
Okay.
And he directed both of the Boss Baby movies. So
okay, not so good, but sure.
Not so good, but he's like a DreamWorks guy. Like he is the DreamWorks
If they want to make close to $1 billion, they go to this guy.
The score was done, I didn't know this, by Hans Zimmer.
For Megamind?
Yes.
What score? There was just needle drops every 5 seconds. That's crazy.
And this guy named Lauren Balfe, I don't know.
Okay.
Which he did the music for like so many major movies, like Mission Impossible, like so many massive movies. But most notably, recently, and we just mentioned it, he did Argyle.
No way.
Yeah, he did
we got the Argyle guy?
Yeah, dude, it's great.
Dude, that's crazy. A steal.
It's crazy how specific this movie is to our point in time now. Like, this is the perfect movie to start with, and I'll get to that in a second.
Because of Argyle?
Firstly, Argyle, but secondly, something else.
Yeah, our favorite movie ever.
So the movie had a budget of $130 million.
Okay.
Which is quite a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say.
At least in recent past.
Yeah.
And think about it. The highest grossing animated movie of all time is Frozen 2, right?
Yes.
And most recently, all of the Disney animated movies like all have like these massive $200 million budgets.
Yeah, well, it was, like Wish was
200 million. This is 130. That's crazy.
Wait, it made 300 million?
So this movie made 320 million.
Oh.
But I'm just saying the budget is crazy for this. Like, it's not
right.
I don't know if DreamWorks movies typically have like
higher
budgets, and they might, but I just found that fascinating.
So like, again, general rule of thumb, take
some money.
Times it by 2. It made some money, but not
like
a
a whole lot.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say it made an additional $70 million in home.
Okay.
Home.
Because what year did this come out?
2010.
2010.
Yeah. So
home sales were still a thing, but not
kind of going downhill.
Yeah.
But still.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I guess that makes sense because you think of like the big DreamWorks properties,
right?
Like their new. We made fun of it in the past, but their new DreamWorks,
the new logo with all like the
Megamind's not in
Baby,
it. Yeah, like
Boss
Shrek,
Baby's in there, right?
All that stuff.
Madagascar's not there,
no.
So it's
and
weird.
there's no Megamind 2
Yeah.
until like they recently announced like a month ago, but which is weirdly perfect timing.
Now, that was actually what I was going to bring up. I'm actually
there you
disappointed
go.
that you know about that because I didn't know about that.
I looked it up last night. I watched the trailer in prep.
Oh, okay.
The only prep I did was watch a 2-minute trailer, but
yeah, okay. So we'll get to that in a second. I didn't actually know that. But so the film was first titled Mastermind.
Oh.
And then weirdly later Ubermind, not like Uber like the rideshare app, but like OOBER.
Oh, like Megamind's much better than Ubermind. That would have been rough.
And then this movie also was set to have Robert Downey Jr. as Megamind.
Wait, that would have been kind of sick.
Dude, I know. But due to scheduling conflicts, they went with Will Ferrell. What connection do they have at all?
Yeah, that's a weird second choice.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Well, so when did this come out? 2010? I wonder if the conflict was Iron
Man. Yeah, probably.
Because I was like, oh, wait. And then I think Iron Man 2 was 10.
Yeah.
If not 09. I think it was 2010 or 2011. Or I think it was 2
Yeah.
years later.
Yeah, that sounds
Or
right.
maybe Iron Man was 2000. I don't remember the exact timeline, but I think
That
it
is
was Iron
crazy.
Man. That's wild.
Yeah. And the producers actually brought in Guillermo del Toro as a creative producer on this, which is
Not as
nuts.
I thought they wanted him as a director.
He was a creative consultant. They brought him in 3 weeks before the end of production though, which is kind of crazy.
So he can't do much.
But I was gonna say he made major decisions which like kind of changed the entire like landscape of this movie.
Okay.
He cut 7 whole minutes out of the final film, like just by himself. He's like, no, cut all this. And then he was the one that decided to start the movie with Megamind falling to his death.
Oh, and then rewind.
And then, yeah. So that was his decision.
Was it ever revealed what was cut?
No.
No one knows.
No. Not that I could find. I mean, I also was doing research last
At
night.
2 in the
like
morning.
2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So
Thanks, WCB.
So, yes. And then I thought this was pretty interesting and kind of funny. So to promote the film, Will Ferrell assembled 1,580 of his friends being in quotes, I don't know.
Sure.
But, and acquaintances, there we go, at a superhero costume function.
Okay.
This party set a Guinness Book of World Records for the largest gathering of superheroes. And it was just in order to promote this.
Wait, it was 1,580. 80? We can beat that.
1,000%.
I think we should do it. Let's get 2,000.
As if we're not
superheroes.
struggling to find extras.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yes. And also there was a whole crew of animators that were dedicated solely to the movement of capes in this movie, which is crazy to think about.
For capes?
Capes. Just the movement of capes. That was their entire
They
job.
invented cape technology for Megamind?
Yeah, they
Is that
did.
what I'm hearing?
No. But imagine like going into work like 9 to 5, you're an animator. Well, if you're an animator, it's like 9 to 9.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Your only job all
Just
day, 12
capes.
hours, is just
That's a
movement,
tough
cape
one.
movement.
Yeah,
I'd go
that's
ballistic.
Not fun at all.
Go
No wonder there was no
crazy.
Megamind 2 until 2024.
I know.
I wouldn't do it
And
either.
I was gonna say they released it. So okay, as of the recording of this episode, today's February 13th. We're about halfway through the month. They announced Megamind 2 in February of 2024.
Which is wild.
Within the past 13 days,
Yeah.
they announced this
14
second movie.
Which is because we picked Megamind for
like
this
months
episode
ago.
like months ago.
Yeah.
And then coincidentally they released
And
the
the fact,
trailer.
and also the fact that we picked this movie off a list of like 70 movies.
I know, it's true.
Give or take.
There's a lot of movies.
Yeah. But so, yeah, a sequel to this film was announced, and
Yeah.
a television series were also announced at the same time. So,
interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
they're being released on Peacock on March 1st, 2024. And the title of them, it's Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate, which is the movie.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
Megamind Rules, exclamation point, for the TV
That's a
show.
horrible
It's a horrendous
title.
name.
Come on. Megamind Rules. That's the best they got.
That's it.
It's ridiculous.
That's all I have for production.
I have more in the sequel. Did you watch the
I
trailer?
did not.
Oh,
I was
okay.
way too tired to watch this.
So the reason I heard about the sequel is I was gonna say it was blowing up on Instagram.
Was
It's
it?
not at all. But I saw like a couple like on my Explore page.
yeah.
There's a lot of people upset
I saw
because they.
nothing about this movie.
Oh, perfect. I don't know why it hit my Explore page. For some reason, the algorithm was like, he wants Megamind
Megamind.
news. Yeah. So for some reason, they redesigned everybody a little bit.
Okay.
Like, the animation style is different. If anything, it looks a little worse because I think the budget's just way lower.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
So
if it's a straight to Peacock
Well,
animated
exactly. I think it was very like.
film, and a sequel to a 2010 film that most kids nowadays probably don't know.
Yeah. How about it has the
Crazy.
look of. If this was back in the day, it would have been like a direct-to-DVD sequel.
Yeah.
Like it's a step
Right.
down animation-wise. But they redesigned everybody a little bit, and people were like, "Oh, they ruined Megamind, whatever." And then I watched the trailer, and dude, none of the original voices are back at all.
What? I thought.
No one.
I'm pretty sure Will Ferrell's back.
I don't think he is.
I
Double
could've
check that
sworn
just in case. Hang on.
Yeah, if you
'Cause I
want
watched the trailer, I'm like, this doesn't sound like
I
him.
could have sworn he was like the only one that was
that came
that was
back.
coming back. Just
What's this
look
movie
up,
called?
Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate.
Versus the Doom
Kind of a cool
Syndicate.
name.
It's an interesting idea. The
Yeah.
trailer did not look great. I'm not
No.
gonna lie. Maybe it was the Doom Syndicate. No, he's not. in it.
he's not. I could have sworn I read.
I
Wow,
remember
that's
watching. I'm like,
crazy.
that doesn't even.
I'm not
sound like
surprised
him.
that any of them came back because again, it's a direct-to-DVD type of movie. I mean, it's
Yeah.
direct-to-streaming at this point. That's the new direct-to-DVD.
That's true.
So I'm not that surprised, but that is crazy.
Yeah, everyone got. It's just. It feels so. It's like someone doing like a Will Ferrell impression
Ah, okay,
almost.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
And they
just-
had to like, and they're not gonna get. I mean, I guess it's DreamWorks, so it's all in-house. But I was gonna say they're not gonna get as much like promoting and like marketing
No.
and budget, whatever, all that
Yeah.
stuff. So that
even the
stinks.
trailer. Like how like when you look up like, I don't know why I have Madam Web on the brain, but
we're going to see it this weekend. Double
Yeah,
feature
we're
with Bob
double
Marley,
featuring.
One Love.
and Madam Web. But when you go look up the Madam Web trailer, you know how it's like Marvel Entertainment official.
Yeah.
And like they have all the different versions. if you look up the Megamind trailer, the most official one is like Joe Blow movie trailers.
What?
Like there's none from
It's not
like DreamWorks.
Oh,
no,
not Peacock. Nothing.
It's all like the
What?
weird trailer.
Did they post it on their
channels.
Instagram?
I don't know
No
where
idea.
they
Yeah.
posted it. I'm not
That's
sure what
nuts.
happened, but
Well, R.I.P. to that movie. I guess. I guess we have to watch it though.
summer.
It comes out in
sequels.
like 2 weeks.
We're gonna watch it together.
We have to, and then
Yeah.
watch the whole TV show.
Yeah, I was just about to suggest that too. So
Okay, going into the plot of this magical film, we open with the classic DreamWorks logo, and it made me so happy. Every time I see this thing, I
Yeah.
get so. Oh, I just get giddy. It's awesome.
I have no idea why they changed it, man.
I know.
It's so good.
They wanted to do like the MCU thing.
but
Of like
it's
showcasing
weird.
their best characters.
It's so
But also
weird.
again, this my whole gripe with it when we first talked about it is like they don't include Madagascar. They don't
Which is
include this.
wild.
They don't. I
Yeah.
feel like they don't include someone like their major
the big hitters.
IP. But maybe Boss Baby is like the most successful movie of all time. But like, why is that included but not other
Well, you know what?
movies?
I
don't know.
had a thought about that. Literally just now.
Oh, nice.
It could be a I just woke up thought. So
Yeah.
fair warning. But is Boss Baby just way bigger than we think? And it's just because we're older.
That probably.
We weren't around.
Well,
Because
that's-
there's all the
yeah, that's what I'm
Netflix
saying.
shows,
Right,
and they have
right,
like
right.
2 movies. And I
I
wonder
think-
if for kids going to see a DreamWorks movie, they're like, that's my guy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have like a Choose Your Own Adventure Netflix like show or movie
And
based on Boss Baby.
And we're not watching that right now.
Oh yeah, it made $500
because-
million.
Oh my God.
$500 million. It
Yeah,
made
that's ridiculous.
528 million the
Yes,
first movie.
So let's put on that Choose Your Adventure. Dude.
yeah.
Let's just quit season 3 right now.
Dude, that would that's
Are you
crazy.
kidding me? That's
And then
awesome.
I believe the second one tanked. The second one
Oh,
made
really?
$100 million.
Oh, what's up with all the shows then? There's so
don't
much to this
know.
IP for some reason.
I feel like they did try and milk it. They're like,
Yeah,
remember
they
the
really
first
did.
one? You
you want-
guys should give us your money
Do you
for all
want
the other ones.
Choose Your Own Adventure and be Alec Baldwin? I'm like, sure, absolutely, I'll take
That
that.
could be another baby in the universe.
Dude, I watched that universe. I'm like, I want to live in this.
Yeah, exactly. That's
You know what I
okay.
mean?
I get why it's in the DreamWorks.
Yeah, I guess
intro.
for people that are younger than us, I think we're a little biased. But it is
Maybe.
weird that Madagascar didn't make the cut.
That makes no
Because
sense.
there's how many of those? There's like 4.
I think there might be 4. I think that to my knowledge there's 3, but there
There's
might
3.
be more. Or there's tons of
Well, there's
TV
also
shows.
the Penguins of Madagascar
Penguins of
movie and
Madagascar.
show.
Yeah,
they did both.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
And there's also Madagascar
Weird.
Sorry, which I've had growing up and it rocks.
Oh, like the board
the
game?
game, sorry.
Oh, yeah,
the Madagascar
yeah,
version. Yeah, it rocks.
It's awesome.
It is weird Madagascar's not included. I would also think this should be included. I know it didn't like make a ton.
I
think
feel
it has
like
a weird
should.
cult following almost.
And also, like, if they're gonna, maybe it's because Peacock's like tanking, but like,
Wah, wah. Yeah.
and I don't know. I feel like there isn't enough interest in Megamind to make a sequel, unless there is, and that's what I'm saying is they should
Yeah.
put it in the intro.
Again,
Who knows?
my theory is that it just didn't do super well when it came out. It did well, clearly, but it's not enough. And then as the years have progressed, I feel like as like all of people our age got older,
Yeah.
across the board, all of us like, no, Megamind rocks.
Yeah.
Like the reviews are good. Like it's like a little cult hit.
Right.
But you know what I mean?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
It's enough to get a Peacock sequel.
I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, best of luck.
But
Maybe
it's great. We haven't seen it.
Who
Maybe
knows?
it's
Who knows?
fantastic.
Yeah, we're recording this before it's out, so
Yeah.
maybe our kids listening in the future will be like,
You guys are
"That
idiots."
stink. The
You
movie
mean-
rules?
Wait, you mean the best picture winner, Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate? What are you guys talking about?
Right. So we start with that DreamWorks logo, and then we cut to maybe one of the worst voiceover jobs I've ever heard in my life. It's Will Ferrell doing like I don't even know some sort of accent that as soon as it started, I was like, there is no way I'm starting this movie at midnight and I'm finishing it tonight, and I did, but begrudgingly.
It's very short. to be
Yeah. So with voiceover of Will Ferrell telling us that he is about to tell us the story of how he ended up here, falling to his death. We see
Yeah.
him falling with a little like
He's got a gun or something.
and
yeah.
he's falling. And then we cut away
I will
to
say
his backstory.
for the record is that I remembered like the voice cast and all that. So when his voice hit, it was not jarring at all.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
I
like, it hit, I'm like,
remembered-
yeah, that's Megamind.
I remembered literally no. For the most part, I like usually remember voice casts. And
Yeah.
for this one, for whatever reason, I was like,
Nothing.
I know
So
nothing.
his accent immediately threw you off, and you're like, I'm quitting the whole show.
Because I recognized Will Ferrell's voice.
Yeah,
I
sure.
was like, what is this accent he's doing? That's was like, I do not like this.
See, I was like, oh, Megamind.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I was
okay.
like, this is fun. I was in. I was sitting there with my bowl of cereal. I'm like, I'm in.
Okay, right.
Not gonna
At,
lie.
what, like 3:30 in
At
the
three-
morning?
yeah, I started at like 6 in the
7:30.
morning.
You started about an hour ago.
Yeah, I'm
You're still
finished.
watching it. Yeah. You haven't. That'd be so funny if you were watching on your phone. You're like, yeah, that does happen.
Yeah, dude.
It's happening right now.
Oh, and they're gonna go back?
Yeah, right.
Oh, cool.
So we see his origin story. It's essentially like a parallel of Superman. So it's like, you know.
Yeah, it's just a ripoff
it's
of
a
Superman,
rip-off.
straight
So
up.
Superman gets sent. His
His
what's
planet's
Metro Man,
dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get sent off.
And then Megamind also gets sent off.
yes.
But he doesn't know like what his purpose is in life because his parents get cut off. There's this weird joke. And so they both get sent off. And he's clearly like the screw up of like the family, whatever. And then this this Metro Man dude is perfect.
Superman. Can
Superman.
we just call him Superman?
He's Superman, yeah.
Superman. Let's just be honest.
And so they rocket to Earth together, and Metro Man lands in like this rich house.
Yeah,
and
right.
Megamind lands in a prison.
in like a maximum security prison. And then for some reason, they just make him stay.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
I was like, wait.
They're like blue alien
It was so weird.
locked up.
And then they cut to him in like the orange jumpsuit. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and
what
he's
is
like a
going on?
toddler.
I know.
And what's happening?
I'm like, this is outrageous.
it's insane. But
and also like, sorry, not to cut you off.
no,
it's just,
please.
The parallel of Superman like mostly works, especially for Metro Man, because
Yeah.
like, again, let's pretend it's Krypton because that's what it is.
Mhm.
So Krypton explodes. He goes into like to the escape pod, crashes down on Earth in like a little farm, and people find him and raise him. Makes sense. But when you have this little blue guy that crashes into a maximum security prison, that doesn't add up. Like, that's not happening. They're not going to Superman him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not. Yeah, because they all were just like, can we keep him?
No. He's getting brought to some area that we don't know
Yeah.
exists by the government, and he's
Yeah.
never seen again.
Right.
Like, that's
They're gonna
insane.
do horrible things.
They're going to be
to him.
horrible things to
Regardless of if it's the prisoners or the government, he's gone. He's dead. Like,
yeah,
he's
they're
gonna
going to
get
kill him and
tested
experiment on
Yeah,
him
it's
immediately. Like, this
crazy.
would not happen.
But so instead, what happens is he's raised by prisoners. They like
Sure.
nurture him,
Yeah.
and he's taught the ways of crime.
Yes,
Whereas
yeah, as
Metro
as
Man
it
is
happened.
raised in this spoiled, rich household,
Yeah.
and like the parents like not neglect him, but like the dad is kind of just like that. Like
He
puts a
doesn't- yeah,
newspaper up in front of his
sure.
face. He's like whatever. And so they end up going to the same school for whatever reason, because I guess like there's a school right next to the prison that all like the good kids go to or whatever.
I guess.
And then
yeah.
Megamind is like released for the
Oh,
day
yeah.
because like he wants to learn more or
Why-
I don't know. It makes no sense. It's
I
so
just realized
confusing.
that he is sent to like the very nice school.
Yeah,
even though
he's
he's
the
been
only
an inmate
one.
his entire life. Something doesn't add up here.
But I'm pretty sure he has to go back to prison after school.
yeah, I think he goes
Yeah.
home to prison.
Yeah, right. Back to his family.
What's going on?
And you see over the course of like a few scenes that he gets bullied. Dude, and there was this one scene that like had me like crying because I was like, how is this possible?
What
They have
happened?
the dodgeball scene. They're picking
yeah.
teams. And okay, let me set the scene. So they're picking teams, and Metro Man picks basically everyone in class, every single person
on one team,
on one team.
not like.
And they were it's
not
it's
two
like down
separate
to the
ones.
last pick, and it's
Yeah.
between Megamind and this girl with like several disabilities
on crutches.
Yeah.
yeah.
And Metro Man picks the girl, and then they all just pelt Megamind with dodgeballs, and they're like, I was like, where is his team? Like,
Yeah, it's just
them
Megamind's the whole
against
school.
him. Yeah, right. I was
Like,
like, what's
It's
happening?
outrageous.
It's insane. That scene, my jaw was on the floor. I was going crazy. It was very funny. And then finally, we get this voiceover where like he realizes that he's gonna embrace the evil inside of him.
yeah. It's time.
And we cut to years later where he's locked up with several life sentences on his back,
Yeah.
and it's Metro Man Day. Here we
Right.
go.
Metro Man's become Superman.
Yeah, he's Superman. in
And
the city.
this is Metropolis.
right.
You know what I
And
mean? yeah.
Megamind is just in prison still with his
Yeah,
homies.
sure. why
Except
not?
now he's in like a more secure thing.
Yeah, because I guess he got
He's,
more
like,
evil.
messing around
Yeah,
with people.
his
Yeah, I don't-
stunts became more elaborate, whatever.
Right. His
you know.
mind became more mega.
Kind of.
I don't know. I mean, he got bigger. I don't know.
Yeah, and physically got
Yeah.
larger. Yeah. He's not. We'll circle back to this
Right,
point later.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
not like incredibly smart. He's just very
one of the
theatrical.
dumbest characters I've ever
Yeah, he
met.
is. He's got a flair for the dramatic. That's really
Right.
about it.
So we're introduced to Roxanne and Hal, which I can't remember
Who?
who Roxanne is, but Hal
Oh, the
is
news
Jonah Hill.
reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hal
she's
is
Tina
Jonah
Fey.
Hill. Oh, it's Tina Fey.
It's
Okay,
Tina
yeah,
Fey,
yeah,
yeah.
Tina Fey and Jonah Hill. I she is Roxanne to me. He is absolutely just
He's
Jonah Hill.
Yeah,
he's,
I'm happy you said that.
They just designed him as old
Yeah.
Jonah Hill.
Now, he was one, by the way, when he hit, I was like, oh, I don't remember him. I remember Roxanne and Metro Man and Megamind.
See, that's the funny part.
Did you remember
That's
Jonah
the
Hill?
one thing I remembered about this movie. Other
No
than
way.
obviously like Megamind being a character.
Yeah.
I remembered like the big twists of the whole thing. Because I remember really liking
I didn't.
that. Yeah, that was like my one thing. I was like, oh, this is the one where the super guy becomes the bad
Becomes
guy.
the bad guy.
Yeah, I was like, this is awesome.
And I will say, though, when Jonah Hill's voice hit, I'm like, uh-oh.
Oh,
Because
God.
that's just Jonah Hill.
Yeah, it is.
like at least with like Will, especially in this one, maybe because he's doing that accent. But for Will Ferrell, I'm like, no, that's Megamind.
Yeah.
Like, it really didn't take me out of it.
See, it didn't.
Did take you out of it a little bit.
Well,
Or, like, you got
Jonah
used
Hill
to
took
it.
me out of it.
Yeah, Jonah Hill.
But
was,
also
was not.
Megamind. I think everyone in this movie took me out of it except for
Tina Fey?
Roxanne. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because
She
like
did a
Brad
good
Pitt
job.
is Superman or Metro Man or whatever.
Wait, it's Brad Pitt?
How did you not know that?
I didn't know that.
Dude, it's Brad. That's why I was like, this cast is loaded.
That's crazy.
It's Brad Pitt.
Dude, how did they not get Brad Pitt for the Peacock sequel?
That's what I'm saying.
I just don't understand.
It's actually what I was going to mention before when we were talking about the Peacock. I was like, I'm not surprised that Brad Pitt.
No,
he's
I
too
didn't
busy
know
working on a
that.
Tarantino movie. You think that he's going to come back for this?
That's
nonsense?
wild.
Okay. So we're introduced to Roxanne and Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
Which is a reporter and her cameraman, respectively.
Yeah, Jonah Hill.
Who is madly in love. It's like his one character trait.
Yeah.
In love with her.
Which,
and
for the record,
yeah,
I was also in love with Roxanne.
yeah, right. I feel like most animated movies is kind of an ongoing.
Seems to be a
theme with
common
you.
theme.
Yeah.
I own
No,
it.
that's okay.
I wear it
Yeah,
as this badge
I
of
respect
honor.
it. I respect it. And she immediately gets captured by Minion in the invisible car that they own, which is
Yeah.
awesome. And I guess like it's established that she gets captured like all the time. Like there's like an ongoing thing.
It's common.
Um,
Which also, for the record, we haven't really talked about Minion a lot.
yeah,
Minion is what, Tony Hay?
Tony.
Is that how you-
No. It's
He's the Arrested Development guy.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Oh,
He
Tony
was-
Hay's also Arrested Development.
Yeah,
Different
yeah,
guy.
yeah. I forget his name.
Hang on,
He's like a very famous comedian. He's very
Yes,
good. And I'm
he
trying to
is.
think of his name.
He's also just in Boston recently.
He's also
David Cross.
David Cross. Thank you. He's in
Yes.
Arrested Development. He's also in. I was introduced to him in Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Oh, yeah,
he
that
is
too.
a huge
Yeah,
role
yeah.
in that movie, and I love him very
Yes.
much. He's
So,
amazing.
I remembered Minion, like, growing up, Minion was a big one.
Yeah, he's great.
But I watched Arrested Development later on in life. So then circling back to this was
Oh.
so weird.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, that's David Cross. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know that was just Minion for me.
See, in my head, because I haven't seen. So I watched Curious George more recently
Well,
than Arrested Development. Because I
okay.
watched Arrested Development.
yeah,
like
we
years
watched
ago,
Curious
whatever.
George relatively
Recently, yeah. So to me, I was like, oh, this is just a snot-nosed guy that wants to build the parking garage.
You heard David Cross and went Curious George?
No, obviously I knew it was David Cross.
No, you
I did.
didn't. You
But in
didn't.
my head, because it was animated, I was like, it's the same
It's the same.
thing.
Same thing.
I was like, he's doing the same thing. Because it's basically the same character. And I was like, what the heck?
No, Minion's way cuter and nicer.
No, I know. He's way more
adorable.
He's not a snot-nosed kid. But
No.
still, I got the same vibe because I was like, oh, it's the same
It's
guy.
David Cross.
But I love him. So I was like, okay.
I love that you thought of Curious George, and I forgot he was even in that movie.
Yeah, I know. Well, because I remember
Listen.
us like talking about it on the episode.
That's
so,
fair. And also, I just woke up.
Yeah.
So, wah,
That's
wah.
fair.
Wah, wah.
So Metro Man gives an endearing speech, and dude, he's like a rock star to these people.
He's
It's
good.
great. He's juggling babies.
Dude,
He's
Brad Pitt
high-fiving
should be a
everyone.
superhero. He's
That's what
good
I'm
at this.
saying.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
really good at it.
He's my superhero. And Megamind tricks the warden of like the prison
Yeah.
into helping him escape with
Which
this watch.
Is J.K.
thing.
Simmons? Question mark?
Is it?
His I didn't look it up
What?
because I was like, Nick looks these things
I
up,
don't
but
think it is.
it
If it is,
sounded like
I'd be
him.
blown away if it was.
Oh, I might have just.
Because
I
that
don't think
would
he
be
is.
crazy.
Hang on.
But so
oh no.
okay, it's not J.K.
It's Tom McGrath.
Okay, wait, the director?
I'm confused. Why is Tom McGrath listed as
Oh, he might
Or
be.
Scott and the Prison Guy?
Yeah,
on
that's
Google.
that's the director.
Did he also voice?
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is what happens when we do research at 2 in the morning. We're definitely not prepared.
Right.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. But yeah, so Megamind tricks the warden to get out, and he has this watch that basically like
It is J.K. Simmons.
no
Warden.
way.
Yeah, he
Oh
plays
my
the warden.
God.
I knew it
Dude,
because
this cast is loaded.
it's insane. Because when his
I-
voice hit, I'm like, "There's no way that's the peanut
yeah.
M&M."
Yeah.
Come on, now.
I don't know. I for some reason didn't register. Usually, especially his voice.
Yeah, it's
registers
J.K.
for me.
Simmons,
I don't know. It's weird.
Okay,
You
I
didn't
got
notice
J.K.
Brad Pitt.
Exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I'll take it. So he has this watch that he can transform into like anyone.
Yeah. Take
as
a
long
little
as he, like,
disguise
is there-
watch.
Yeah, right. That's important. That's at first I didn't think it was important. I was like, oh, this is weird.
If it was a huge plot
it's one
point.
of the biggest things in the movie.
Yeah, it is.
And he uses his like mind robot things. I don't actually know what they were called. But to project his face on Metro Man's newly dedicated museum. That's what Metro Day is about, or Metro Man Day, whatever. Showing that he has once again captured Tina Fey. Roxanne. Roseanne.
The love of my life.
Yeah. Metro Man goes to save her, but is tricked into going to like the actual observatory because he's like, I'm in the observatory.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and then it's
It's
not
all
actually
part of his plan.
Right. Which is lined with copper.
His one weakness,
The
Nick.
one weakness.
Oh no.
And also, like, this is a happy accident because Megamind, we realize, is really dumb. And he didn't actually realize that this is his weakness.
Yeah. That was like,
He's a bad villain.
he's a bad villain,
Yeah.
man. He is. I remember him being way cooler. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was my one thing, is I was like, oh, man.
Yeah, he's not even good at like outsmarting anybody.
Yeah, I feel like this is also, weirdly enough, maybe it's literally Will Ferrell. Because I'm pretty sure this is our big gripe with
Man with the
Curious
oh
George.
yeah,
is he was kind of lame. Like, he was kind of like
that's
unsure
true,
of
man. We were a
himself.
little disappointed in Man with the
Yeah.
Yellow Hat.
Wow.
It's Will Ferrell.
That's crazy.
I think it's Will Ferrell.
Oh, does that mean the Lego movie's gonna suck too?
Put it on the list.
We have
I
to.
don't think that's on
we
our
have
list.
to. 'Cause,
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
Well, 5 timers, man.
I know.
I'm telling
That's
you,
what I'm saying. We
3
gotta
more
get
in
him
a
there.
row, dude.
yeah.
What's gonna happen
Not this season.
this season?
That's
It's
crazy.
the Will Ferrell season.
That's crazy. Okay. So, and then Metro Man gets eviscerated by the sun.
we could see like his
We
skeleton.
see his skeleton. He just gets like
It's
he
so
dies
bad.
immediately. And I was like, this is incredible. This is insane.
Which I remembered that.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah, I didn't like it first, but the second he went into like the observatory, I'm like, oh yeah, he gets like rocked.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
destroyed.
he gets destroyed.
Viscerally, he gets crazy. And so Megamind is like, oh my god, what? I did it? Okay.
Wait,
And so yeah. So
crushed
yeah.
it. Yeah,
Let's go. And so he goes to gloat to everyone that he finally won,
yeah.
and citizens take cover in their homes. They're like, oh.
He
the
takes
bad guy
over the
won.
city.
Yeah. And Megamind has fun with his newfound power over the city, but he ultimately feels empty inside because there's no one to challenge him. He has like no enemy and no purpose in life anymore, and
Yeah.
he goes into this
Now-
depression.
A couple weird things about this.
Yeah.
Is one, I love that he takes over the city, and the rest of the country / world is like, all right, cool.
yeah,
We're just gonna let you do your thing.
Right. Well,
No
no
one
one
tries
tries
to
to
inter-
man.
Dude, Megamind's just a dude. Like, you could punch him and he fall. He also sucks as a villain. Like, anybody could take this knucklehead down,
Yeah.
and not even the country's like, this is kind of a problem. Man.
Yeah, because also
Peace.
this is kind of before he figures out like the dehydration, like all of his like
Yeah.
actual cool powers.
Well,
everything.
didn't he have the dehydration thing since school?
Oh yeah, I guess you're
But
right.
I know what
Yeah,
you mean.
yeah,
Everything
yeah. I
else
feel like he
is-
gets like really used to it.
Yes.
and, like
Yeah,
into
yeah,
it by the end of the
that's
movie,
true.
but like not at this point. He's still kind of lame. He's just like
Kinda.
clumsy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sucks.
he's-
And also, it's weird because he gets super bored, and then he realizes, not to kind of jump ahead a little bit.
No, yeah,
But he's like, hey, I can make a new hero
right.
to fight me as a villain. I need a yin to my yang.
Yeah, yeah,
kind
yeah.
of thing. Which is kind of the whole like plot of the movie.
Mhm.
But by the time because I remember checking, by the time he's like, hey, I can make a new hero, it's 37 minutes into the movie. The movie's an hour 30.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, we just really got to the point.
Right,
You know what I mean? Of like, what's this movie actually about? It's
Yeah.
this. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if it's a bad thing. It
The
was just
Metro Man
interesting.
thing felt a little drawn out once you realize like what the movie's actually
Yeah,
about.
once they were just gonna kill him, and that's really the whole point.
You're right.
You're like, oh,
I don't know.
yeah, it
I
was,
felt like it could have been quicker, but it also felt kind of quick.
yeah, it's
Like
the
that
thing.
beginning, weirdly.
That's
But
why,
it was
like,
37 minutes.
It was 37, but I'm almost not
Crazy.
complaining because
Yeah,
it
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
feel,
It didn't feel long, which is nice.
Yeah, it didn't feel out of place or strange. It somehow worked, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, so he goes to Metro Man's museum. Weirdly, at the same time that
Roxanne's there. Yeah,
By
I would
coincidence.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
they don't-
coincidence.
Right, yeah. And he's wallowing in his pity there just about the whole situation. He's
Yeah.
severely depressed.
And his PJs like us.
Yeah. And he like
Yeah.
throws like he's like gonna blow the whole place up because he's like,
He's evil. he
yeah,
has
you
to.
guys can't like this is too sad of a memory for me, so I'm gonna just destroy it.
Dude, are we becoming Megamind?
Maybe.
I think we're gonna blow up WCB.
You cannot say that on air. We are absolutely not
We're
going to
gonna
do
get in
that.
so
Please
much
stop.
trouble for that.
Okay. So she overhears his voice.
Yeah,
She starts walking, and he like quickly uses the watch, and he morphs into Bernard, which is like he's like a Megamind aficionado.
I think he's like a
guess.
museum keep worker, and he
like knows everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. And then and they leave the museum together as Megamind blows it up for new beginnings.
I have a question about that.
Yeah.
Because the movie never addresses it. So he dehydrates Bernard, turns him into the little cube.
Yes.
And he becomes Bernard.
Yes.
Then he blows up the building.
Yeah, Bernard's dead.
He killed Bernard, right?
1000%.
Yeah, he killed Bernard. Okay. I think it's the only real spoiler, only real movie we see. Real murder we see in this movie.
It's early. It's okay.
It's early.
It's actually not even that early now. It's like 10:40.
Most people are awake and at work.
Right.
At this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. They're all ready to go.
Yeah, 9 to 5.
Yeah.
But like when the explosion happened, I'm like, they just killed that guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, are they ever going to talk
dead.
about that?
No,
Nope.
never.
And Roxanne doesn't bring it up when
Yeah.
she finds out nothing.
Because it's like you rehydrate with water, but when it's fire, dead.
It's dead. That little cube got disintegrated.
Yeah, it's dead.
He's fully dead.
He's fully dead. Okay.
It happens.
So they talk, and Megamind realizes he's still Bernard, technically.
yeah, well, yeah, quote unquote Bernard.
yeah. Dead Bernard.
Rest in peace, Bernard.
He realizes that he can make a superhero, like you were saying.
Yes.
He can do it.
37 minutes in.
Exactly. And he shows Minion that using Metro Man's DNA, they can create a hero that Megamind can go up against, and that will keep him busy.
Yeah.
He hopes things will go back to the way they were, so he won't be as sad. That's kind of
very
we start
lonely.
kicking it in.
Yeah.
So Roxanne finds the lair, Megamind's lair, and Megamind morphs back and forth between himself and Bernard as she enters the lair and tries to find out more information about Megamind.
Yes.
Because she's still like, I hate this guy because he killed my
We
guy.
gotta take him down.
Yeah.
Let's get him.
And when he turns back into himself, she fights him, and he accidentally shoots the DNA out of the lair.
Oh yeah.
Because he puts the DNA into a gun.
Like a
He's
gun.
like, going to pop someone in the head, and they're going to become Metro Man.
Oh, yeah, he has Metro Man's
Yeah,
DNA. I
yeah,
forgot
yeah.
about that. Yes, he's
From
gonna,
his cape that someone worked their whole career on.
it turns out.
Right. So it shoots out of like the building and directly into Jonah Hill's face,
Yeah. It's pretty gross.
thus causing him to become a superhero.
Yeah. Jonah Hill's a superhero in this movie.
Superhero.
Just
yeah.
for the record.
Superhero in real life. He's awesome. I love him.
Is he?
So, okay, anyway, so there's a
There's some weird stuff with
there's
him.
a montage of Megamind's new life training Hal. That's Jonah Hill. I was like, who's Hal? I was reading that on
It's
my
Jonah
notes. I was
Hill.
like, what the heck?
There's no Hal in this
No,
movie.
no.
There's a
Training
Jonah.
Jonah Hill as an old wise man. He says he's a space father,
dad,
space dad, yeah. And Minion is a space stepmom, which I thought was so
Dude, Minion,
stupid,
I love
so
Minion
funny. I love
in
it.
this movie.
Going on dates with Roxanne as Bernard and plotting to like take over the
Yeah.
world as himself.
He's
Like,
falling
this
in love with
is-
Roxanne.
Yeah. He's living this
Yeah.
trifecta of a life.
I was falling in love with Roxanne too. I
Yeah.
understood him.
You get it. You get it.
I am Megamind. Dude. I get it. I'm also an idiot.
So he so he begins to clean up the city for Roxanne after she kind of talks to him about things as
Right,
when
right.
he morphs into Bernard.
Yeah.
And prepares Titan, which is Jonah Hill's superhero name, for his big battle with Megamind the next day.
Yeah, Titan's gonna take over. He's gonna
Yeah.
beat Megamind.
This is
Restore balance.
Yeah. And he's still a superhero at this point. We're about to
Yeah.
have a nice little twist.
Though, okay, he's still technically a superhero, yes. But the whole movie, he's been such a creep.
Oh yeah, he's
Like-
again his only character trait is horny. I don't
Is
even know if we
horny.
say that on air,
Like-
but you know.
Again, we might get in trouble for saying this, but he's basically sexually harassing Roxanne.
Yeah,
And it becomes borderline assault.
it's crazy.
And then when he turns to a superhero, it gets real bad.
Oh, it's insane.
Yeah,
He's
like-
like I have power now.
There's it's genuinely really uncomfortable
it's-
to watch.
it's
So, like,
actually
this is really freaky.
So Minion realizes that Megamind is going out on dates with Roxanne, and they get into an argument about it because Megamind doesn't want to be the bad guy anymore because
Yeah.
he's in love.
He's in love.
He's
Roxanne
like-
would make me turn good too.
Yeah, so you can slowly see that Megamind is slowly turning into a good guy.
Yeah.
Titan is slowly turning into a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's getting like kind of a little aggressive. He's
Yes.
like, I have power. Why is no one in love with me? Whatever. We'll get to that in
It
a
gets
second.
so creepy.
Yeah.
It's so I hate this.
But Minion leaves Megamind. It's so sad. They part
Yeah.
ways.
'Cause Minion, I love Minion so much. He's
And
like,
now-
you're not bad anymore. I'm out.
Yeah, it's
You don't know what you're doing.
It's like Dr. Nefario. Is that his name?
Who?
Come on.
What are you talking about?
Despicable Me.
I don't remember Despicable Me.
He's like, you're not the bad guy anymore. I'm out.
Nick,
I'm
I
going.
I watch adult movies.
All right, you know what? We're adding that to the list. No, the
You
only reason I remember that is
Dr.
Nefario.
Nefarious?
Nefario? I don't even remember.
Nefarious? I don't know.
Um,
Dr. N.
I'm pretty sure. Well, Okay, I actually think it's because he's in the queue for one of the rides at Universal's.
That's
that's exactly why. Okay, so Titan finds Roxanne, and this is where it gets like
really creepy.
Really creepy.
Yeah.
And he tries to impress her, and he's like all over her. He brings her up on like the top of a building. He's like, "You're not going anywhere."
He starts flying with her without asking.
No,
it just took her.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I hated this.
And then when she finds out it's just Hal and it's just Jonah Hill, she tells him off, and he gets furious, leaving her at the top of a building.
It was like
we don't even know how she got down, but
Yeah.
he's just like, "You're mine, and if you're not mine, you're no one's." So
it
I'm
was
out.
like genuinely, maybe it's because it was so late at night, but I'm like, I honestly feel like do feel real uncomfortable watching this.
I was
Like,
this is crazy.
and Jonah Hill's like a little too into it.
Yeah.
I'm like, something about this is wrong. I don't like this whatsoever.
It's crazy.
It almost like, not that it didn't age well, but he's almost like too much of a villain.
Yeah,
for like
yeah,
a kid's movie. I'm like, this is outrageous.
Right. And so while on their date, Roxanne and Bernard kiss.
Yep.
Right. But Roxanne accidentally hits his watch, and he turns back into Megamind, ruining their relationship.
Poor
Everyone
guy.
freaks out. I know.
Yeah.
Megamind busts out a giant suit. I forget what they called it.
The
Do you remember?
Black Mamba.
Black Mamba. Yeah,
Black
yeah, yeah,
Mamba,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. The look of like genuine excitement
Black
in your
Mamba,
eyes. You
Black
like
Mamba.
you like sat up in your chair. That was great. People can actually see that now. Hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see.
So he gets out the Black Mamba. It's just this giant like mecha suit.
Yeah, he looks so cool.
Yeah, it's really
I remember
cool.
this one.
The back in black.
The
scene.
Black Mamba with the back in
Yeah.
black. I'm like, that is my boy.
Yeah. And he goes to town to challenge Titan, but when he doesn't, when Titan doesn't show up,
Yeah.
he goes directly to his house and sees that he is becoming a villain. He's robbing places. Like, he's like, I'm using my power.
ATMs,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's awful.
And so Titan asks to team up with Megamind, and this makes Megamind furious because like you're supposed to be
You're
the
meant
good
to be
guy.
the good guy.
I'm supposed to be the bad
Yeah,
guy.
what
Like
the
F
heck?
you. This is horrible.
Yeah.
And then he kind of gets upset, and then he's like, you know what? Does this watch thing? He's like, I'm your space dad.
Yeah.
I'm also the guy
Bernard.
who kissed the girl
Kiss
you're
your
in
girl.
love with.
Yeah.
Boom. And then he leaves, and then Titan's like he gets so
real
mad.
bad.
He gets so mad. He goes into a spiral that causes him to battle with Megamind. And they fight. And
Yeah.
Titan obviously beats the living heck out of Megamind, naturally.
Naturally.
Breaking through the copper ball, which was Megamind's
Yeah,
failsafe.
wait a minute. I thought copper was his weakness, Nick.
So he turns. Megamind turns to Roxanne for help, and she agrees and takes him to Metro Man's old hideout.
Yeah, trying to find like clues on his weakness or something.
So they're
how to
searching
stop him.
around.
It's also important to note how creepy Titan is.
Oh
Because Megamind's like, okay, you beat me, I'm ready to go to prison. And he's like, oh no, I'm gonna murder you.
Oh yeah.
Titan's
He's
like,
so
he's
mad.
out for blood.
Yeah.
Like it gets real scary.
Because he has like the laser eyes.
Yeah.
And he's like in training. He's
Gonna
like
fry
melting
his
his
head off.
face.
Yeah,
it's insane.
It's again, it's almost too much. I'm like,
Yeah.
they went too hard. Like this is
It's
creepy as hell.
Crazy. We find out that Measure Man is alive.
He's alive.
He's alive.
Yeah.
He's a beard.
Brad Pitt is
Brad
alive.
Pitt is still living in this hideout. And it's discovered that when he went into hiding because he got bored of the same routine and he faked his death.
Yeah.
So he took, I think he said it was like a prop thing from the museum or something.
This
He
is a
threw it.
skeleton
Yeah.
through it.
And so Megamind turns himself into the cops after Metro Man refuses to help out. He's like, I'm gonna die. I have no, stake
Yeah, we
in
can't
this world
defeat
anymore.
Titan. Like there's literally nothing we can do.
Put myself in prison, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Titan proceeds to destroy the city and captures Roxanne again. It's insane.
I hate it. Nick. It's
Hoping to
too
lure
much.
Megamind in to kill him. And Minion breaks Megamind out of prison after a nice little apology that was like accidental. Like
Accidental, yeah. But it was nice.
And Megamind puts on a show
Dude.
before getting beaten
Dude.
by Titan.
This, okay. When the dark clouds roll in
Yeah.
and Welcome to
It's
the
so
Jungle starts
sick.
playing, I was like, Megamind's kind of been elusive this whole movie.
Yeah.
That's finally my boy just
Dude.
showed up.
Dude,
He just stepped up to the plate.
I got chills.
I got
that was
chills.
like the one.
And
I
he had
was
his-
like,
the big shadow of him talking,
Yeah.
his big face. I'm like, about time.
I'm glad you said that because I couldn't tell if it was me being awake at 2 in
No,
the morning.
it was sick.
Or if I was like, oh no, this is rad as heck.
It was
awesome.
rad. Like honestly, if I wanted to show like, hey, what's the character of Megamind like? That. You showed
Yeah,
that
yeah,
clip.
yeah.
Like that's him at his prime, baby. He
Right.
just showed up to the game.
Yeah. So Metro Man then shows up, which is crazy, and forces Titan out of the city.
Yeah.
But Titan immediately comes back and beats up Megamind.
Well, it turns out
Uh,
Metro Man is just Megamind.
Well, I was gonna say
Yeah, yeah,
because
it's
he
just-
figures out that Metro Man was Megamind in his
it was just
disguise.
disguise. Yeah.
And then Roxanne spots the invisible car, which holds the gun that can remove Titan's powers.
Yeah.
It's the invisible card. I don't know how she actually sees it.
You can kind of see
it's
the outline a little bit. Yeah.
But still, I was like, it's invisible, whatever.
It's invisible. It's not super well hidden.
Yeah,
being
no,
honest.
no, it's parked in the middle of the road.
Yeah, it's very obvious.
And Megamind gets to it before being launched into the air by Titan and falling to his death, which is the scene in the beginning.
Yes.
But he saves himself by dehydrating himself, falling into like water, rehydrating, and then boom, shoots him in the head. No more powers.
Gets rid of Jonah Hill.
Shrink down back to Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill isn't going to murder and do horrible things to Roxanne anymore. Yeah.
And then we end with everyone dancing as Megamind is finally celebrated in the city, and all is well in the world. That is Megamind.
That is Megamind.
So, final thoughts. Hit me.
Okay, you want me to go
it.
first? Okay.
Yeah.
Megamind, Kima, I watched this very late, and I don't have a lot of nostalgia behind this movie. I remember the voice actors. I remember Minion. I didn't know Brad Pitt was in it till just now.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. But I actually really like this a lot.
Oh, really?
I like this a lot.
Okay.
I was surprised at how much I was into it.
Yeah.
I thought the humor was good. I kind of forgot about the premise of it, and then the second it hit, I'm like, oh yeah. But I think it's a fun idea of being like, what would happen if Joker beat Batman?
Yeah, right.
Like, there's just no Batman anymore.
Yeah.
What would he do?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a cool idea. So I'm like, okay, the whole premise is pretty unique. Him creating a superhero that ends up turning evil is also kind of a unique idea, and Megamind has to kind of become the hero. I'm like, I'm into all of this.
Yeah.
And like judging a book by its cover with Roxanne. I think the themes were good. The humor was good. The plot was kind of cool. I was like, yeah, they did a good job with this. Like, I think the only problems I had was for most of the movie, Megamind himself is just not a great villain.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just wish he was smarter, and he could still be beaten at the end of the day.
Right.
We should still have a couple moments.
Yeah.
Of like, he at least knows what he's doing. Like,
Right.
he's so lame for most of this movie. And then I do think they just went a little too far with Titan.
Yeah.
Because it was genuinely really uncomfortable.
It was
Maybe
crazy.
like for the time it came out, it wasn't seen as that bad. And now like watching it with the 2024 lens, it's like, Jesus.
Yeah.
This man is a monster.
Yeah.
Like, this is, as a 22-year-old man, I was like, I'm freaked out by this
is crazy.
dude.
Yeah.
So as a kid, I can't even imagine. But besides that, yeah, I was a big fan.
I think you hit on all the major points. I didn't dislike it.
Oh.
I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. I think it's one of those that
I liked it more than you?
I think so.
That never happens.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh my God.
I think it was one of those where if I watched it at a different point in time, in terms of actual time in the day,
we didn't
I
have to rush
more.
it the day before.
There was really good music throughout. I thought the needle drops were great.
Yeah.
I really, really liked Minion. I liked the whole. I really liked the premise of the movie. I liked the concept of the movie.
It's a very unique
The music
idea.
was great. I thought the pacing went really well. I really liked Minion. Again, I think the two main downfalls you already touched on were Megamind, which is kind of stinks as the main character.
He's the main guy. You wanted to be at least somewhat cool.
And then Titan, which is arguably the main villain. So it's like the two things that you're supposed to really like are like maybe the worst part about the movie.
True.
But I had a fun time with it. And again, I think possibly like with time, I'll like it a lot more. Just the more I like think about it throughout this season. Because sometimes the season rankings like change for me by the end. I'm like, oh, I actually did really like that.
Yeah, that does happen a lot.
And then, but in the moment, I'm kind of like, eh.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like in the middle on it.
Okay.
I enjoyed a lot of elements, but there were a lot that I was like, okay, yeah.
Wow, I liked it more than you. That
I think
never
so.
happens.
Yeah.
I will say, speaking of just like the rankings and stuff, that does tend to happen where like, it's almost like we watch a pretty decent to sometimes like good movie, but it's still like a kid's movie. So, you know, it's kind of not going to appeal to us 100%.
Right.
But then I'll be like, yeah, it was fine. And then we'll watch like the worst thing ever created. And I'm like, yeah, that last movie should have won every Oscar. I'm like, wait a minute.
That's why I think as time progresses in this season,
You might be kinder to Megamind.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. I think I'm hoping like time heals all wounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You watch this at 1
again,
in the morning because
there were definitely
WECB. And,
exactly. There were definitely elements that I enjoyed. I really did.
Okay, cool.
So I think, again, with time, I'm going to like it a lot more. But one final thought on Megamind. I can't believe this got greenlit. Thank you all for listening. To those who are actually tuning in, hello, Nicole.
Hi, Rinky.
And tune in next week for the Greenlit anniversary, the 1 year anniversary of I Can't Believe This Got Greenlit. We're doing something very, very special. We are covering the movie Space Chimps, and there is a reason We're covering that. Someone may or may not be joining the 5 Timers Club next week. So stay tuned.
Let's
I'm
go.
so excited. We will see you next week. Bye.
Farewell.